You do it in the shower. You do it while driving. You do it when you're alone in your room. You talk to yourself. And right now, a part of you is wondering if that makes you crazy. It doesn't. In fact, it might mean the exact opposite. And by the end of this video, you'll never feel embarrassed about it again. Society has a problem with people who talk to themselves. They call you weird. They give you strange looks. They whisper behind your back. Your family has caught you doing it and asked if everything is okay. Your coworkers have walked in on you mid-conversation with yourself and slowly backed away. You've learned to hide it. You've trained yourself to move your lips without making sound. You've pretended you were on a phone call when someone caught you. You felt shame about something your brain does naturally. But here's what nobody tells you. Talking to yourself isn't a sign of madness. It's a sign of a highly active mind. It's a tool your brain uses to process the chaos of life. And science has proven that people who talk to themselves often have significant mental advantages over those who don't. So stop feeling embarrassed. Start understanding why your brain does this. Because by the end of this video, you'll see this habit as the gift it truly is. The first psychology truth is powerful. Talking to yourself boosts your cognitive performance. This isn't opinion. This is research. A study published in the Quarterly Journal of Experimental Psychology found that people who talked to themselves while searching for objects found them faster than those who stayed silent. Speaking out loud helped the brain focus and process information more efficiently. When you verbalize your thoughts, you're not being crazy. You're being strategic. Your brain processes spoken words differently than silent thoughts. Speaking engages more areas of your brain. It creates stronger neural connections. It helps you think more clearly. Ever notice how you talk yourself through complex tasks? Cooking a difficult recipe, assembling furniture, solving a work problem. You do it because your brain knows it helps. You're not losing your mind. You're using it at full capacity. The second truth explains why you do it during stress. Talking to yourself is a powerful emotional regulation tool. When life gets overwhelming, what do? You talk yourself through it. You say things like, calm down, you've got this, it's going to be okay. These aren't just random words. They're your brain's way of managing intense emotions. Psychologists call this self-directed speech, and research shows it actually works. A study from the University of Michigan found that people who talk to themselves using their own name or the word you rather than I were better able to control their emotions under stress. So when you say, come on, you can do this instead of I can do this, your brain creates psychological distance. It's like giving advice to a friend rather than drowning in your own panic. This tiny shift helps you think more clearly when emotions are running high. You've been doing therapy on yourself without even knowing it. The third reason is fascinating. Talking to yourself improves memory and learning. Remember studying for exams? You probably read things out loud. You repeated information over and over. You explained concepts to yourself as if teaching someone else. This wasn't accidental. This was your brain's learning hack. Research from the University of Waterloo found that speaking information out loud is one of the most effective ways to commit it to long-term memory. They call this the production effect. The act of producing speech creates a distinct memory trace that silent reading cannot match. When you talk to yourself while learning, you're essentially doubling your brain's engagement. You're reading it, you're hearing it, you're speaking it. Multiple senses working together to lock information into your memory. So the next time someone catches you muttering to yourself while studying, tell them you're using scientifically proven memory enhancement techniques, because you are. The fourth truth might surprise you. Talking to yourself increases self-control. Imagine you're on a diet. There's a piece of cake in front of you. What happens in your head? You probably have a conversation with yourself. You weigh the options. You remind yourself of your goals. You talk yourself out of eating it or sometimes into eating it. This internal debate isn't weakness. It's self-regulation in action. Research published in Acta Psychologica found that self-talk helps people resist temptation and maintain focus on long-term goals. The verbalization activates the brain's prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for decision-making and impulse control. Athletes use this constantly. Before a big game, they talk to themselves. Stay focused. You trained for this. Don't give up. This isn't superstition. It's performance psychology. They're programming their brains for success. You do the same thing in your daily life. Every time you talk yourself through a difficult decision, you're strengthening your self-control muscles. You're literally becoming a more disciplined person through the power of your own voice. The fifth reason is rarely discussed. Talking to yourself helps organize chaotic thoughts. Your mind is a storm. Hundreds of thoughts flying in every direction. Worries mixing with plans, mixing with memories, mixing with random ideas. It's chaos in there. And sometimes the only way to make sense of it is to speak it out loud. When you verbalize your thoughts, you're forcing them into a linear structure. Thoughts in your your head can be vague and jumbled. Words out of your mouth have to be organized. They have to follow grammar. They have to make sense. This process alone helps clarify what you're actually thinking. Ever been confused about a situation, started talking about it out loud, and suddenly understood exactly what you needed to do? That's not coincidence. That's the organizing power of speech. You're taking the chaos inside and turning it into order outside. Your brain uses your own voice as a tool for creating clarity from confusion. The sixth truth is about companionship. Talking to yourself reduces loneliness. This might sound sad, but it's actually beautiful. When you talk to yourself, you're never truly alone. You have a constant companion, someone who knows everything about you, someone who's always available, someone who understands perfectly. Research shows that self-talk activates similar brain regions as talking to others. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between a conversation with yourself and a conversation with a friend. You're giving yourself the social connection that humans desperately need. This is especially powerful for people who spend a lot of time alone. Introverts, remote workers, people who live by themselves. Self-talk provides a form of social interaction that keeps the mind healthy and engaged. You're not weird for talking to yourself when alone. You're meeting a fundamental human need in the most self-sufficient way possible. The seventh and final truth is the most validating. Highly intelligent people often talk to themselves more. This isn't flattery, it's documented. Research suggests that self-talk is more common among people with higher cognitive abilities. Why? Because their brains are processing more information and need more tools to handle it. Think about the geniuses throughout history. Einstein talked to himself constantly. He would repeat phrases and work through problems verbally. Many great scientists, writers, and thinkers have reported the same habit. Their minds were so active that silent thought wasn't enough. Your self-talk is a sign of a busy, engaged, high-performance brain. You have so many thoughts, so many ideas, so many things to process that you need to verbalize them to keep up with yourself. The very thing that made you feel crazy might actually be evidence of your intelligence. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody talks about. The people who judge you for talking to yourself probably have quieter minds. They don't understand because they don't experience the same level of mental activity. When they see you talking to yourself, they assume something is wrong. But really, your brain just operates differently. It processes more. It analyzes more. It creates more. And it needs more outlets. You've spent years feeling ashamed of something that deserves celebration. Your self-talk is not a disorder. It's not a weakness. It's not something to hide. It's your brain's natural way of operating at its highest level. The voices in your head aren't signs of madness. They're signs of a mind that refuses to stay silent because it has too much to say. If this video finally made you feel normal about talking to yourself, drop a comment. Tell me when you do it most. In the shower? While driving? Before a big decision? I want to know how many of us are out there having full conversations with ourselves without an ounce of shame. If you want more psychology truths that nobody else has the courage to tell you, subscribe to Life Mind Gym and hit that notification bell, because I'm going to keep exposing the hidden reasons behind everything your brain does. Share this video with someone who talks to themselves. They need to know they're not crazy. They're not weird. They're just running a high-performance brain that needs to think out loud. And remember, talking to yourself isn't madness. It's your brain's way of being its own best friend. And there's nothing wrong with that.